Welcome to Twisting Fitness. I'm Jess, and today I'm going to guide you through a yoga class flowing to handstand at the wall. So you want to have your mat right up against the wall, and you're going to start out facing away, and we're going to lie back in reclining bound angle pose to begin. So go ahead and lie back. Have your hand, left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. Close your eyes. And we're going to begin to connect with our breath. Set an intention for today's practice. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Okay, so we're going to inhale, bring the knees up, and you want them to where you can reach them with your fingers and your feet flat. And we're going to start by rolling up one vertebra at a time, lifting the hips, bringing the arms with you, rounding and arching the wrists. As you inhale, exhale, coming down, flex the wrist. So we're going to do that for 10 times. There's one, here's two. Let's try to get some motion in our wrists for handstanding. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, exhale. Now this time we're going to go ahead and roll up, and you have an option to take your hands and clasp them under you, bringing the shoulders together, pressing through the feet, bringing the knees forward, activating the core, pulling the core in, pausing for a breath. We're going to slowly come down one vertebra at a time. Now we're going to release your legs, straighten them out, hold them here, and now we're going to bring the arms overhead. You're going to try to keep the feet off of the ground as well as the arms. So in the arms, you want to start flexing the wrist. That's a position that we're going to do in the handstands. So let's hold that here. It's called a hollow body shape, and it's actually okay if you're shaking. It means the muscles are being recruited. Hold it there. Keep breathing. Hold it. Don't let the feet drop. Keep the wrist flexed. Now hug and squeeze everything in. Inhale, pull the knees to the chest. Exhale, drop the knees over to the left side. Open and look to the right shoulder. Okay, hug the knees in. Inhale. And exhale, drop the knees to the right and look to the left shoulder. Breathing deeply. Hug both knees in, and we're going to start to roll. And after rolling, we're going to switch over and shift onto our knees for knees, chest, and chin. So let's go ahead and roll 3 times. And on the 3rd time, set your hands down, and you can either step your legs back or hop your legs back, lower the knees down, go knees, chest, chin, come through to Cobra. Want your hips down on the mat as well as your toes. Pull the shoulders up and back as you inhale. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, take it down. Push yourself back into child's pose. Stay here for a moment. And now we're going to move into tabletop, where we're going to go through some drills to help loosen up the wrists and the hands for our handstand practice. So let's round forward, come up, pull the core in just for stability. You want your your knees, hips width apart, and as well as your hands shoulder width apart. And you want the fingers spread and the first 2 fingers pointed straight up at the top of your mat. So we want to hug the triceps in, and the first thing that we will do is to begin by pressing in with the hand as you lift the wrist up and begin to stretch and release the fingers. So we're going to inhale up, hold it, and then exhale down. We'll do 5 of those. There's 2. Inhale up, exhale down, spread the fingers, inhale up, exhale down. 1 more, inhale up, hold it, exhale down, good. Now, go ahead and activate the fingers so you're gripping the mat. Hug the elbows in to activate the triceps. And now we're gonna do scapular retraction, where you squeeze the shoulder blades together and then you press the mat away and round the shoulders. So protraction, so retraction, protraction. Loosening up all the muscles surrounding the shoulder blades. Retract, exhale, press away, inhale, a couple more, retract, and press, contract, press away. Good. Now, keeping the fingers spread, we're gonna rotate our body in a circle around the wrists. So let's go 3 times one way. And then now we're going to go 3 times the other way. Keep those fingers active. Pressing the palm into the mat. Okay, now go ahead and turn your hands around, but bring them in closer to your knees. Okay, so you're going to press the knees down, or press the palms of the hands down, and then you're going to come back onto your knees and rock, but peel the palms of the hands up, releasing the fingers. So we really want to get our wrists nice and stretched out before we are bearing weight on them. Now go ahead and turn them sideways, and we're going to rock side to side, pushing into the shoulders as well. So really rock back and forth. Good. Okay, now go ahead and flip the palms over, press the backs of the hands down, pull and hug the triceps in, and then you're going to bend the elbows and then straighten. Bend and straighten. So you have a little bit of weight pressing into the hands as you press up to release those muscles all in the forearms that are going to be helpful during handstanding. Go ahead and sit back onto your feet, sweep the arms up overhead, and let's roll those wrists. Switch directions, pull the core in. We're starting to set up for our handstand shape, so let's go ahead and hug the elbows into the ears, pull the core in, slightly tuck the hips, and now flex the wrists and look up to the hands. So that's essentially what you're going to be doing when you're in handstand. So now let's come forward and shift into our plank. So we're going to come up to plank, tuck the toes, take the feet about shoulder width apart, and we're going to do the same thing that we did in tabletop, where we contract or retract and protract our scapulas rather. So we're taking the shoulder blades together, dropping, and pressing as we protract. So retraction, exhale, protraction, inhale. Retraction, protraction. Keep breathing. Keep the core stable. A couple more. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, press them out away. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, press them out away. Now hug the elbows in and start bending them. We're going to take ourselves down all the way to the mat, and we're going to set our elbows down on the mat for Sphinx. So we're going to scoop the elbows in as we lengthen the upper torso and basically open up the thoracic spine, which will help you with your alignment in handstand. So go ahead and press the hands into the mat, and we're going to lift up and take it a little bit deeper into seal. Lower the elbows down, bring the hands beside your chest. Now we're going to push ourselves back with the hips high into puppy pose. So hands come forward, and we're going to melt your heart down, opening up the shoulders. Now here again, let's activate the wrists. So let's bring them up. Again, this is what shape you're going to be doing when you're in handstand with your hands. So really activate those wrists. Go ahead and set the hands down, and we're going to press ourselves up into downward facing dog. So lift the hips high, pull the navel in, and spread the fingers, grip the mat, hug the triceps in, and pull the chest towards the thighs as you gaze between the knees. You can always start with your knees bent or the heels up off the mat. Whatever is within your practice. So now that we're here in down dog, we're going to do a couple of drills here too as well. So first one we're going to do is raise the shoulders up to the ears and then relax them. So inhale, exhale, inhale, press, exhale, release. Inhale, release, press the mat away, exhale, release. Couple more. Press the ears up to the shoulders up to the ears, and then relax. One more. Press and release. Good. So next, let's go ahead and do one more drill in down dog. We're going to bend the knees, and then you're going to take the right knee to the chin. Bend the knees, squat, left knee to the chin. So we're actually starting to put some weight on those wrists. Bend the knees, bring the chin in. Keep going. Squat, tuck the chin, squat, knee to chin, squat. Couple more, one on each side. Good. Lower your feet and start pressing your way back into your forward fold. Now here, go ahead and take the hands over the top of you, clasp the hands and bring them forward. Let them start to fall forward to release the shoulders. Breathing deeply into the forward fold. Let your head hang completely. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, take the left hand under the left foot and then the right hand under the right foot. And we're going to start to give our hands and wrists a little massage. So just start kind of wiggling your toes there. It's okay if your knees are bent. You can always start to straighten them if they start to loosen up. Go ahead and release the hands. And now we're going to roll up one vertebra at a time. Very slow. Tuck the chin. Sweep the arms up overhead, pull the core in. Sweep the arms up as you inhale, pull the core in. Now here we are, we're going to practice standing for our handstand, but we're going to be on our feet. So to begin, you would want to flex our wrists again, activate the triceps, pull the elbows in towards the ears, bring the shoulders up. Now flex those wrists and almost kind of have those fingers spread and active. And then we're going to pull the core in slightly, tuck the hips, tailbone towards the heels, and then we're going to rise up onto our toes and balance here. See if you can look up at your hands. It's essentially what you're going to be doing while you're in handstand. Of course, we're going to be against the wall today, So we're just working towards this. So this is another drill you can do to work on your handstand shape. Now we're going to inhale, lift. Now exhale, lower the heels down, keeping the back straight as well as the arms and the wrists active. Lower yourself down, hands coming to the mat. Inhale and exhale, coming into your forward fold once again. And now, heel toe your feet wide, and we're going to take it into Malasana. And so we're preparing for our first drill up the wall, and let's press the knees out, lift the chest, and then we're just going to rock side to side. So I kind of like to get into this first drill from Malasana. You can also start on your hands and knees. With handstand practice, you'll kind of figure out over time what works for you and what doesn't work so much. So here we are, our first drill. We're going to be facing away from the mat, and we're going to begin to set our feet up on the wall and make a pike shape. So let's press your hands into the mat. Grip like we talked about, the first two fingers pointing straight up at the top of your mat. Hug the elbows in, lift the hips, press the palms into the mat. Really grip like Spider-Man. Now take the left leg in and start to step the right leg up. If it feels like you're too close, go ahead and step your hands out a little bit. And then you're going to bring the feet up to the wall. Bring them together. Make sure that core is active. The fingers are active and pressing. Now, option here, you can practice taking one leg up straight at a time. So let's start with our right leg. So that was 2. Exhale down. Inhale up. 3. Now hold it there and just kind of get a feel with your weight distribution. Go ahead and look to your hands. Now switch feet. Left leg's going to go straight up. Right leg is pressing against the wall. And we're going to do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Good. Finish in pike and set yourself back down for Malasana where you started. Pressing the knees out. You can even take the wrists and press them together if they feel a little tired after the first drill. So let's go ahead and change directions because our next couple of drills are going to be kicking up the wall. So let's turn around into child's pose. Pause for just a moment to recover. You want your hands towards the wall but not quite there. And then relax your forehead down on the mat, pausing for a breath. Okay, now so we're going to come up to our down dog. Press your hands, you want them slightly ahead of your shoulders. Tuck your toes, pick the hips up. And we're going to step forward with the left leg and start to pick the right leg up for a standing split. So let's go ahead and stand here for a brief release to that hamstring on the left. And then now you have an option to kick up here. So what you'll want to do is square the hips. So it's not about getting that right leg super high. So we want our hips square, and then we're going to rise up onto that left leg and now start to hop. So if you don't kick all the way up, that's okay. Each time get a little higher. We're kind of using our proprioception upside down to determine how hard to kick. So now once you're there, pull the core in, tuck the hips, squeeze the thighs together, point the toes, gaze between the hands, and breathe. Don't forget to grip the mat too. Now let's roll our lower down the right leg for the other side. So first, let's give our wrists a break for a moment. shift your weight onto that right foot. Keep the hips square. Pick that left leg all the way up to deepen the hamstring release on the right, which will help getting into the handstands. So then our hands will come back to the mat, and we're going to rise up onto that right toe, keeping the core active, pressing through the hands, and start to hop on the right leg. So even if you just barely lift off, stay right there, that's okay. Or if you want to kick higher, kick all the way up. Eventually you will get there. Just be patient with your practice. So starting with the hands, grip the mat, hug the elbows in, gaze between the hands, pull the core in. And then we're slowly going to come down when you're ready to child's pose. Now send the arms forward and bring the hands together for prayer. And then we're going to bend the elbows and take the hands behind the head. Recovering here in your child's pose. For several breaths. And we're going to inhale coming up, and we're going to take our hands back to the mat, start to tuck our toes, press ourselves back into downward facing dog, lift the hips high, gaze between the knees. And now we're going to step forward with our left leg once again, and this time you have an option, if you like, to try to switch the legs when you're in the air, or you can stay with the first drill where we were kicking up with one side and then we switched to the other side. But if you want to try this drill, go ahead and pick up the right leg, square the hips, rise up onto the left toe, bend the knee, and begin to hop. Now switch legs. You can use the wall to help you. Lower down to where you started on the other side. Drop that heel, shift back up onto the foot. Now we're going to keep that going for a few reps. So 2 or 3 times on each side. So that heel comes down. Now get ready to rise back up on that toe, pull the core in, activate the fingers and the triceps, kick, switch legs, come down. Drop the heel, shift forward, kick back up, switch legs. One more on each side. Drop that heel, shift forward, bend that knee. Right side. Last time. Shift forward, press the hands into the mat, pick that left leg up, rise up onto the right toes, bend that knee, kick up. Now you have an option here to work on your L shape. So press through the hands, gaze between the fingers, hug the triceps in, keep one leg forward, take that one up. Let's try the other one. Now slowly come down to the mat in a wide leg child's pose. So knees pointed out, and rest your hand down, your head down on the mat. Breathing deeply to recover after those inversions. If you practice these drills regularly, they will help you get stronger in your handstand. You just have to be patient when you're first getting started. It does take time, but there is no rush. Okay, go ahead and bring your hands to the mat. And so for our last kick-up drill, we're going to try kicking up with 2 legs instead of just one. So to do that, you take your hands to the mat. Now we also need to get back into our Yogi Squat or Malasana. So you want your knees next to the elbows. Let's go ahead and press and lift. Rock it out a little bit. Loosen the hips. Now hands come down to the mat right in front of you. Just set them down. Spread the fingers. Now lift the hips high. Rise up onto the toes like we did on the single leg hops. Now same thing, we're gonna start to hop and shift your weight. So each time the hips will get a little higher, and then eventually the hips will go against the wall or the toes. So work on that a couple times. Work at your level. Now once you're up there, if you want to straighten up one more time and do a straight up handstand balance, you can work on shifting your weight away to balance. But that's why the wall's there. Just use it when you need it. And then slowly lower yourself down. Head coming to the mat. Hands coming to your sides. Pausing. Here to recover. Take your hands, clasp them behind you. Now begin to lift the arms up. Tuck the head. And roll the head forward for rabbit pose. Start to release the back of the neck and shoulders. Keeping the arms clasped, come forward, or actually come back as you lift the hips up. Now come up onto your knees, and we're going to do a camel with your hands clasped. So you want the knees about shoulder width apart. You can take your feet out slightly for stability. Inhale, lift the chest, take the elbows back, and start to lower the arms down the back, or the hands down the backs of your legs, keeping the chest nice and lifted as you begin to go back. Option to release the head, just make sure your neck feels good. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower down. I'm going to face the camera. Lower down to seated in hero's pose. Take the hands over to the left side, keeping them clasped, and lifting the chest. Inhale. Exhale, drop the left ear to left shoulder. Releasing the right side of your neck and shoulder. Hold it here. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, drop to the right side. Breathing deeply. Releasing the muscles we just worked. Okay, so now we're going to shift into our cow face pose. Hands coming forward, hips lifting up. Take the right leg behind the left and shift the hips back. As you shift the hips back, press both cheeks down, so grounding the sitting bones. And as you do that, sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, grab the left elbow with the right hand and start to pull that elbow back. Now you can stay there if that feels good, or you can take the right hand and reach for the fingers. You can also do this using a strap if you have one handy. Just holding the strap between both hands and taking your hands closer. So inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, let's deepen and fold forward. Inhale, lifting up. Now shift back onto the sitting bones, back side of them, and we're going to take the left leg under the right. So hug that right leg in, sweep the arms up, grounding the sit bones. On the inhale, now grab the right elbow, pulling it back with the left hand. Option to stay right here and breathe, or go ahead and take the left hand up to back. We're using a strap. to connect the hands. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward to deepen. Good. Release. Inhale. Shift your weight together for a bound angle. Take the hands to the feet. Walk the hips to the heels. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Now this time, roll it all the way over to the right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, take it back to the right side and roll all the way back to the left. Inhale, coming up. Inhale to center and exhale, folding forward. You can press the knees as you go down or slightly shift the hips back as you take yourself forward. Feeling a slight round in the spine, but trying to keep it as long as possible. Inhale. And we're going to go ahead and shift ourselves back here in the proper direction of the mat for Dandasana, staff pose, hands coming beside you. Press them into the mat like you're trying to raise the bottom up. Press down, lift the chest, activate the triceps. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, seated forward fold. Option to grab the ankles or clasp the hands. Keep the spine nice and long as you breathe. Deepening with each exhale. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, take the left leg in, wrap the right arm around. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, look back over the left shoulder for a seated spinal twist. Breathing deeply. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, right leg comes in, wrap the left arm around that right leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, look back over the right shoulder. Stay for a couple breaths. Creating space to deepen on each exhale. Inhale back to center. Now we're going to bend the knees and do a reverse tabletop. So hands come back behind you about a foot, fingers pointed down or up. I prefer down. Now we're going to press through the feet and start to lift the hips high. Pressing out of those shoulders, don't sink into them. Press out of the shoulders, pull the core in, tuck the chin, and if the neck feels good, let the head drop back. Stay here for a breath. Option now to take it to full reverse plank or stay in tabletop. Same thing, pressing out of those shoulders, keeping the core active. Tucking the chin and letting the head drop back if that feels good. Now bend the knees and we're going to release the shoulders. So bend the elbows and point the elbows straight back. Now we're going to hold here to release any tightness that we created working on our inversions. Breathe deeply. And for our final pose, we're going to take it to fish posture. So take your hands under your hips, come down to your elbows, and then start to take your head back and straighten out your legs. Pressing the elbows as you lift the chest. breathing here. 3 breaths. We'll release our shoulders and relax all the way down for our final resting posture, Shavasana. Thanking our body for the hard work it did today, working to improve our handstands. And if you do this practice regularly, you will see progress, I promise. Just be patient with yourself. Now release everything. Let go of what no longer serves you. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Inhale the arms and legs long. Exhale, roll over to the right side. Pause for just a moment. Inhale, coming up to seated and easy pose with your legs crossed. Close your eyes. Bring your hands into heart center. Assess how you're feeling after finishing your practice. Inhale the arms up overhead. Circle them wide. Inhale the arms up to your forehead. The light within me honors and loves the light within you. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me for today's handstand practice. And if you enjoyed the flow, go ahead and please give me a thumbs up, comment, or special requests. And don't forget to subscribe for more weekly fit flows to come. Bye for now. Hope to see you again soon.